Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Not Everybody Needs a Podcast with your host, Mackenzie Rancher. Last week, after I said that, I was like, we're like 26 episodes. No, honey, we are in our 30s. I cannot believe I recorded 30 episodes of these. So sorry that I did not know that. I need to keep on it. I had a really big week last week, I feel like. I had a birthday, so I had a birthday party. I met a new friend, which is the craziest story that I have to tell you guys. So I was talking to Darian on a family walk, and I was kind of just like getting emotional and kind of just frustrated because I was like, I just like have such a hard time knowing God's voice versus my own thoughts, and was talking to him about it, and he was giving me some advice, and I was just like, Lord, I just need some kind of like clarity on this basically. And I was praying about something specifically, and we got home, we put the kids to bed, we were cleaning, and I picked up my phone to listen to the normal podcast I do whenever I'm cleaning. And speaking of, my room is so dirty right now. I actually need to do that later. And I say that every single night, and every night I'm like, I'm too tired. I genuinely can't. But I pick it up to listen to my same Brooke and Connor Make a Podcast, which is really the only podcast that I listen to just because it's funny, it's lighthearted. I don't really have to like listen the whole time to like get the gist of it. But I opened up my YouTube, and the first thing that came up was a podcast that said discerning your thoughts versus God's voice, something along those lines. It's not exactly what it was called, but I'm like, oh, okay, well, obviously need to listen to this. This is exactly what I needed. This is obviously from God. Like it's just too coincidental. So I listened to it. I'm about like 75% done with it. And I'm like, this girl is like so sweet, and she just talks about the Lord so sweetly. And it just seems like, I don't know, we would be friends. And I don't really feel that way about like, not like I don't feel that way about a ton of people, but I just don't make a ton of friends just because I have a lot of friends, and I just don't, not that I'm against making friends by any means, obviously, because I'm telling you I made one, but I just like don't really have that thought a ton, I guess. And I was like, I'm just going to DM this girl and just tell her like, keep going with this podcast. It was so encouraging. And I go to DM her, and it says follow back. And I was like, wait, crazy that I just listened to this whole podcast and this girl follows me. Like, that's so cool. So I go to DM her, and we had already DM'd, guys, because she came to my event, which is so crazy. I was listening to this girl, for all I knew, she could have lived in like California, but we literally live in the same city. And she came to my event. We had already met. And so I probably would have put that together if I was really watching it, but I was really listening to it. I wasn't watching it a ton, but once I watched it, I was like, you know what? This girl actually does look familiar. And so I DM her, and I'm like, hey girl, this is so crazy. I just listened to your podcast, and I went to DM you and tell you how encouraged I was and just how beautiful of a person you are. And she was like, oh my gosh, it's so crazy. And I was like, we have to get coffee. So we got coffee, and we already hung out again. And she came to like my birthday coffee with some of my friends. And it was so fun just getting to meet her and talk with her. And I made a new friend, guys. Like, who's proud of me? Making new friends is just hard. Honestly, you have to put yourself out there. And I was like DMing her, and I was like, what if she's like freaked out by me? I don't know. You just have all these thoughts that come in your head. So I made a new friend. It was very, very sweet. And it's so crazy how the Lord works. Like it was just very clear that we were supposed to meet. There was like too many cross that had passed. But wait, I'm so sorry. Too many paths that had crossed. Guys, who's worried about me? I am curious sometimes when you guys listen to my podcast, I'm like, do people think I'm like, okay? Like the amount of things that I say that I'm just like, what is she talking about? But anyway, I also this week have to get prepared for going to Oregon. We're going to see Josh and Savannah, which I'm very excited about. It's Zeal's birthday. And Josh and Savannah are some of our friends. They have 3 kids that are precious, and our kids are pretty close in age, and we get to see them. I'm so excited. Zeal's birthday party his birthday was this week, but his birthday party is next week. And so we get to go, and I'm so excited to see them. We try to see each other like every 6 months, which sounds like not frequent, but when you live that far from somebody, like that's really what only works. When they have 3 kids, we have 2 kids. It's just, that's what we can make work. Last time they came to us, so I was like, we're coming to you guys. So I'm very, very excited to see them. And I am a little nervous about the kids being on an airplane. I ordered a ton of stuff that I researched what I should order for plane, because we have taken Beckham multiple places. She's been to Hawaii, Anguilla, Malibu. She's flown a lot of places, but it's been a minute. It's probably been like a year since we've flown with her, which is kind of crazy because her first year of life was filled with a lot of flights, but it's been a minute and this is our first time doing it with 2. So I'm gearing up. I am a little nervous. If you guys have any tips, DM them, comment them, and I will use them because I am feeling a bit nervous. So wish us luck. Like, really, wish us lucks. Like, give me a break. Wish us luck because I am feeling nervous, but I know they're going to be fine. They're the best kids. And I feel like I've just had like a moment many, many times this week. I think it's because it was my birthday. Like watching Beckham sing me happy birthday was like so surreal because I remember my first birthday with her. She was young. She was only 6 months. And I was like, one day this girl's like gonna sing me happy birthday and be able to understand like it's mommy's birthday and whatever. And now we're already there. And it's just crazy. And I'm just so proud of them. And we were just down here playing with Kason on the floor and just like watching him walk from person to person. And I'm just like so proud of them. They're the most beautiful, special kids ever. So they're going to do great. But there's just something about like the anticipation of doing something that you know is going to be like a little difficult, especially because Kason has been on, we did take Kason to Jacksonville. We flew him. Well, actually it was just me and him, but he was like so young. I think he was 3 months for Marissa's, was it her gender reveal? No, it was her baby shower. And he did so good, obviously, but he was so much younger. So there's just like this workup of anticipation of what it's going to be like because it's like an 8-hour travel day. So we're going to have to bring so many snacks. Like I'm already pre-packing in my head because we leave in 4 days and there's just a lot to be done between now and then. So I just get nervous. But I also last week started Hamilton again. Not started, but watched it like halfway through and I just forgot to finish it. But it just reminded me how much I love Hamilton. If you guys have not seen Hamilton, it's so good. I will say it's pretty niche. Like I'm a theater kid at heart. If you guys don't know that about me, since I was younger, have been such a little theater kid. Like I remember being young and whenever I would see those Disney ads that are like, you could be the next Disney star, like call now for an audition. They would do auditions and I went to multiple auditions. My mom put me in acting classes. I was in singing lessons. Like I was just always like a little theater kid. My favorite class in school was theater. So this is like right up my alley, a play where they sing. I mean, obviously it's a musical, but like it's also a play. And I just forgot how much I loved it because I've seen it in person too. And I became obsessed with it in 2020. And was it 2020? Whenever it came out, I became obsessed with it. And then we saw it in person because Marissa and Trevor surprised us with tickets with it in Jacksonville. We thought we were just going for the weekend and they had tickets for us to see Hamilton and we were so freaking excited. So I got reminded of how obsessed I was with that. And I need a new show. Like I need a show that I can watch and kind of like binge watch. I don't really obviously have like a ton of time, but like the ones I like to look forward to something at the end of the day and I need a show. So I need you guys to recommend some to me because Hamilton's like a one-time watch and then you're like, okay, I'm good to not watch it for like a year and a half. Like I want a show that's interesting and not like crazy, if you know what I mean. Like I don't need like to see too many people making out, if that makes sense. Like I just want to watch something that's like lighthearted and fun, but also not too old. Like I feel like a lot of you are going to be like, Friends is such a classic. I can't get behind Friends. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that because I have so many friends that love to watch that. It's just not my speed. I don't know what it is, but I just can't do it. Like I feel like it's just, dare I say, boring. Okay, back to my birthday. So my birthday last week was like the biggest thing that I did, but we had the best time ever. Like truly, my birthday party was so fun. Before that, so my birthday was Friday and then we didn't do my birthday party until Saturday. So Friday I woke up, I had a massage with Darian. We did like a little couples massage and at like a place, not Darian getting the massage, LOL. Need to clarify. We went to a Spa H at Hartness, which is where I hosted my event, the Hotel Hartness. It was so good. It was amazing. We did like a 15-minute couples massage. It was like intensive therapy, I think it was called. Intensive healing massage. And it was so good. I've never done a massage like that, but it was amazing. And then we went from there to a new coffee shop that I've told you guys about, the Third Place. Is it called The Third Place or Third Place? Whatever, doesn't matter. Great coffee. Got to take Darian for the first time because he's never been. So we did that. And then we came home. I got to kind of like rejuvenate my mom was here, and so she left, and then Kaysen would not take a nap. So I was with him for like an hour and a half, trying to get him to nap. So that was tough. And then we finally just gave up, and he just didn't take a nap that day. And Darian ran errands. He was picking up my gift. He was picking up my cake. My one request was a sweet potato cake. Please, Lord, it's so freaking good. And he got that for me. He decorated for me. I took a little nap. I got ready for dinner. We went to Juniper, which is a place in Greenville, obviously, downtown. That's really beautiful, but we never went there for dinner. We've only been there for like events, or they did like mostly like appetizers and drinks and stuff. And that was our first time going for dinner, and it's just like a good vibe. So that was fun. We got to reflect and spend a lot of time just like talking, hanging out, whatever. And then what did we do after that? We went to our friend's art studio, and he was doing a Justin Bieber listening party. You guys, Justin freaking Bieber. You putting out an album on my birthday, like, what can I do to ever repay? That was the best gift that I could have been given. First of all, it's so freaking good. Like, if you don't like the album, it wasn't for you, it was for me. Like, he made that album for me, like top to bottom. Everything is so good. I have to give you guys like my rankings of the songs that I love the most, because that's important to me. Number 1 has to be Yukon. So good. I saw a lot of discourse about whether or not he should have pitched it down to be his original voice. No, I wouldn't. No notes. 0 notes on that song. So freaking good. Daisies has to be second. Just because it's like fun. It kind of gives us like a little bit of old JB mixed with his new. It's so good. Too Long. Actually, sorry, I'm so sorry. Too Long has to be number 2. Yukon and Too Long actually might be tied for number 1. How dare I forget? I don't know what it is. It's not getting that much love, but it doesn't matter because I'm giving it all the love in the world. Too Long is such a good song. The chorus, I can't. Like the melody, the harmonies, everything. Again, no notes. So freaking good. Then I'd have to go Devotion, which is hard because it's like, how do you even put Devotion at number 3/4? Whatever. It's so good. But I feel like I'm like good to listen to that. Like, guys, if you just saw that fly enter the chat, oh my God. First of all, that's a massive fly. Secondly, there's a fly epidemic, because all my neighbors put on are like, oh my God, there's 2 flies. No, please. I'm going to go crazy. Please free me from this fly. Because first of all, Darian's already killed 2 flies today. And all of our neighbors have been putting in our Facebook chat that the flies are out of hand this summer. Could not agree more. Like, what is going on with the flies in this world? Because they're all in our home, or at least our neighborhood's home. Like, I don't know what I can do to make them die, but they have to die. Like, I'm so sorry. It going in my face like that just gave me an attack. Wait, I have to look at the other songs on the album so I don't forget one, because I just know I'm forgetting them. They're just all so good. Like, I understand people maybe being a little upset at like, it's not what we've heard from him before. So I get people being like, I expected this, but I got this. But it's like, what he gave us is so good. Like, how can we ever complain? Oh my God, Swag. Oh my gosh. See, this is why it's so hard to pick, because why are they all so good? I have to put Swag next, obviously. I have to do, this is hard. Okay, Zuma House. I do love Zuma House. I could listen to that all day because it's just so like I could like work to Zuma House. But all of the rest of them are all tied at the end. And actually, Sweet Spot's at the very end. I got halfway through Sweet Spot and I was like, okay, this is like good, vibing, whatever. And then Sexy Red came in, turned it off. Turn it right on off. I'm not hating on her because, you know, artists, there is definitely a crowd that love her and, you know, want nothing more than to listen to Sexy Red all day. I'm just personally not that crowd. I just don't know, like, why am I being screamed at? Like, what's going on? I mean, wait, what did she just say? Like, it took a turn for the worse, unfortunately, about halfway through. So that's why it's at the end for me. But I mean, I truly cannot complain because all of them were so good. And he truly blessed me. Like, what a birthday gift. That was my favorite birthday gift that I got for sure. Darian got me a pair of Adidas shoes that are really cute, white. I can dress them up, love. And then he got me 2 of these like jersey styled sets, which I really like. And I was asking for more like laid back outfits that I can wear, because I feel like I have a lot of fancier outfits and fancier sets, but like I'm not gonna lounge around the house in my fancy sets. No desire. Who was just talking about that? Oh, gosh, who's that girl that like does the cooking? Not Nora. What? This is like right up my alley. I love her. The girl that does the cooking with the voice that's all soft and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, love her. And she dresses up in like all her videos, and she says that she doesn't own sweatpants. Like she only wears fancy outfits and like does her hair every day and her makeup every day, because she feels like she's the most productive self when she does that. Like I actually feel the opposite. Like I'm my most productive self whenever I'm in a loungewear, and I feel like I can just like move however, and I don't have to worry about like what I look like, whatever. Now I love to do my hair and makeup. That does make me feel productive. But like this outfit, I feel my most productive self. Now, if I was in like a skirt and like a crop, I just wouldn't feel my most productive self. Does that make sense? Like I need to be able to move. But anyway, I got to my birthday party. Now, let me tell you the nonsense that happened on my birthday party day. So obviously setting up for a party it always takes so long. Like it always takes longer than I think. I should have deep cleaned the night before, but like I didn't want to deep clean on my birthday night, you know? So I was like, I'm just going to wake up and do it. But then Darian surprised me with a birthday brunch with my friends. And so I didn't really get to clean that morning, but I came home kind of early and I was like, okay, I need to make sure I clean, whatever. So then I was with the kids after that, and obviously trying to balance like cleaning with the kids. You can only get so much done. And then they kind of took a nap, so I got to clean a little bit. And then by that time I was like, oh my God, I've got to start actually setting up for the party. I bought 112 balloons. So obviously that in of itself is a moment. Now I'm like so confused how helium works. I know that sounds stupid, but I bought a huge helium tank for my party, okay? $80, right? So you would think, oh, this is going to blow up a ton of balloons. It blew up 4 big balloons. I'm not even kidding you. Now they were like the big balloons because I wanted a mix of smaller balloons. So I did 100 small and 12 big. It blew up 4 balloons for $80. So yeah, that was gone. So thank God my mom offered to take the 100 smaller balloons to Publix to get them blown up, because if you guys don't know, Party City, I promise you, if you're a host, you know, if you like to host, Party City went out of business, okay? Which is one of the worst pieces of news that I got this year, all right? And they no longer do balloons. I used to just get them sent to my house. It was an easy process. Now I have to go buy my specific balloons, get them blown up somewhere. It's a whole moment, the worst moment. So I was like in a panic, and thank God my mom got 100 balloons blown up, and then she ran out of ribbon, and then there was supposed to be a whole like silk ribbon attached to the balloons. We ran out of that. It was just nonsense. Okay. Thank God for my mom. She's the only reason why it got done. But then my mom comes with the balloons. I'm like trying to set up and hurry and get set up. I'm an hour behind. I am not ready. I haven't got dressed. Haven't done anything that I wanted to do to actually get ready for the party. Our electricity goes out. Yeah. I just hear outside thunderstorms, rain sloshing against the window. I'm like, okay, this is actually scary to drive in, but I'm like, hopefully it'll pass, whatever. I'm putting up my banner. The electricity goes out. Perfect. So I literally sit there and I go, you're kidding. You're kidding. Which sounds so dramatic, but I was so excited for my birthday party, and I was so scared it was going to be ruined, especially because we had a hibachi chef coming and he had to cook outside. So I was like, what are we going to do when now there's this huge thunderstorm? And so this is like such a first world problem, but I'm not like complaining. It's more just so funny. I'm like, what's going on? So I was so upset. The electricity went out. I go, God, please, God, like asking God to turn the lights back on. The lights turned back on. Ah. So after like a minute, they turned back on. Thank God. So I finished getting ready. I'm like all like worried about the storm. So the storm stops like 30 minutes before people are supposed to come. I'm like, thank God. The hibachi guy comes. He's able to set up outside somehow. Like it literally looks like it never stormed, even though it was a horrible thunderstorm 30 minutes before. And everything worked out. And then I wanted a dessert chef to come because I did not want to have to set up any food, or I literally just wanted to worry about the decor and setting up drinks. Like I did not want to have to worry about setting up food and all of that, like not even dessert, whatever. So we like paid a pretty penny for this dessert person to come because I was under the impression that she was going to like help serve us and like it was going to be like a whole moment. And this is no shade to her. I don't know if she'll see this. She probably won't. Like, why would she? But she came and like set everything up and then left. But I was under the impression we were going to be like not going to have to clean or whatever. So I could have gotten like 10 different desserts for what we paid for 3 desserts. She did fondue and it was very, very pretty. Don't get me wrong. And it tastes very good. But all she did really is like this cake. It was called a cookie jar cake with Oreos and Biscoff. And then she did a fondue station with like, she did homemade like the marshmallows and everything. And that was really good. And fruit that we could dip it in, macarons. And then this like dark chocolate fondue, which was good. And then she did a apple crumble cake, which I didn't love, but Darian said was very good. So there was really only 3 desserts. I'm like, I could have done like actually 10 different desserts and we wouldn't have even had to do 10 desserts. I could have done like 5 like gourmet desserts for what we paid. And I'm just like, never again. That was like a lesson learned for sure. I'm like, I'm never ever doing that again. Lesson very much learned. But I surprised Darian with a chef for, I think it was Valentine's Day, like 2 years ago. And it was so good. Like we didn't have to clean up anything. She served us like 5 different courses. It was so delicious. Like it was like unlike any meal that we've had. Like you could tell everything was homemade and like she made everything in the kitchen fresh. This girl kind of like made it at home and came and like just set it up, which again, no shade, not mad at the girl. It was just not what I was expecting. And so yeah, that was a little tough, but we ate dessert and then we set up for game night. Not game night, it was whatever. I guess technically it turned into game night. We played Mafia. If you guys don't know what that is, you guys can look up the game, but it's so much fun, especially with a big group. And I had like 12 people here. So we played probably 15 rounds of Mafia. We were playing for 3 hours. People didn't leave my house until midnight. That was my favorite part of the entire night. It was so fun. And the hibachi also, 10/10 recommend. If you're doing a party, you guys should do a hibachi chef coming because the food was so fresh. So good. He set up guys, the fly, like I'm gonna lose my mind. But anyway, he set up everything. It was so easy. He cleaned up, he broke down, brought his own grill, brought all of his own stuff. Like it was like perfection. So it was overall the best birthday. I had the best time, no complaints. When we were at dinner, Darian was asking me just like some reflection questions. He's just always so deep and like always helps me reflect and remember what's important. It's one of my most favorite qualities about him. And he was like, is there anything that you would change about this year? And I was like, that's such an interesting question because I feel like if you would ask me any other year, like, is there something you would change? I would probably have something to say. And I think something beautiful about my 25th year is that I really don't have anything that I would change. I loved every aspect of this year. The fact that I got to watch Beckham grow, the fact that I got to give birth to Kaysen, and learn what it was like to be a mom of 2. And just like, everything I think about this year is just filled, which of course is a mindset, but like, I just have so much gratitude for every part of this year. And I would not change a thing. There's really nothing that I would change. And I wanted to kind of, which I told you guys I was going to do last episode. I told y'all last episode I was going to do this episode that I want to take some time and reflect on my 25th year and just things that I have learned and some lessons that I feel like I wish that someone would have told me, or just like something I could listen to that I'm like, okay, that's what I want to focus on this year is doing these things. And so that's what I want to do with this next segment is just kind of like go into what I feel like I learned and not what I would change, but like what I would focus more on. I may have brought this up in last episodes. I can't remember, but I reposted this TikTok where this woman was talking about, actually, yes, for sure. I did talk to you guys. I think it was 2 episodes ago with Darian, but I'm going to say it again just for the sake of the reflection. But I listened to this TikTok where this woman was writing as a 75-year-old woman who was coming back I made that number up. I don't know how old she was. It was like 80 or something, where she was coming back and she was talking about everything that she would go back to. And it was like all these mundane moments where she was like, I looked in the mirror and my face had no wrinkles and I looked like my 25-year-old self. And I hear laughs in the background and my kids are laughing and they're young and all they want is their mom. And I got to see their little faces and hug them for, oh my God, not me about to cry again. Like, I think when you have kids, like it hits so different. But also she was like, I look to my left and I see my husband and he's so handsome and he's so strong. And like, there's just things that you don't even think about. And you guys can go look at my reposts. It'll definitely make you cry. So just get ready for a little tear fest. But it just made me really reflect. And I'm like, gosh, like these mundane days and these moments, I just never want to take for granted. And I just think we spend so much time wishing days away. And there was a part in it where they talked about how she was like, I was reading a bedtime story to my littlest, and tonight I'm not going to skip any of the pages because I only get to read this book one last time and whatever. And I'm the queen of skipping pages. Like when it's bedtime, I'm like, girl, it's 8:30. Like we're 30 minutes past bedtime. Like we got to skip a few pages and get to the end of this book. And like ever since then, I'm just like, what's a few more minutes? Like I am only going to have a few years. Obviously, like it seems long, but all in all, like she's not going to want me to read her bedtime stories forever. And I just don't want to wish days away. Like I feel like whether you're a mom or a wife or whatever, I just think in general, we can be like, oh my God, I cannot wait till I get another job so I can stop working this one and I'll be happier then. Or like, I don't know, just like the grass is always greener on the other side. And like, I just want so badly to not miss out on days just because some days it's hard. And it's like, of course, having two kids that are young and like need me so much, and I have to give myself to them so much, that can feel exhausting some days. But I just know one day I'm going to like really, really, really want these days back. So the first thing is stop wishing your days away, because you're going to want these days back regardless of what kind of season of life you're in. And also I just think it helps you make the most of every day when you have that mindset. And I just feel like that's so important. And I also like to think about like, what are the things I'm going to remember the most? And for me, I'm like, I'm not going to remember working my life away. I'm not going to remember spending time scrolling on my phone or like being distracted or whatever. Those are not the times I'm going to remember. I'm going to remember the times of laughing with my children, being present with them, being present with my husband, date nights where we just laughed and spent the night listening to music and driving around and like whatever. Like I want to spend this time that I have now doing things that I will remember the most. And this next year, I have a lot of goals for sure, but also I don't want my goals to be the things that matter most to me. Like I want my time to be spent doing the things that I will remember the most, which is like time with my family and my friends and pouring in time to things that I care about and I'm passionate about. And yeah, I also think one of the greatest pieces of advice that I've been given or I have learned is if you are in need of something, give it away. And what I mean by that is any time in life where I'm like, I just wish my friends were better friends, or I just wish that I was welcome to people's homes more. I just wish I had this or that. What I've tried to do is give that away. So like, for example, like if I wish I had better friends, I become a better friend to my friends. And I feel like in turn, I end up getting what I needed. And it's not for the sake of I guess what I'm saying, like, if you want more support, be supportive. If you want to be a better friend, if you want a better friend, be a better friend. And I know that sounds like maybe you're just doing it to get it in return. Don't have that mindset about it. It's more so like, I just feel like it kind of goes into what I'm about to talk about next, which is the first will be last and the last will be first. It's like a humility thing where it's like, if you really are in need of something, like giving it away and becoming that for somebody else, I feel like the Lord just honors that. and gives it back to you. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like that was some of the best advice that I have been given. And I also just feel like, one, humility is everything. That's the one thing that I feel like I've learned in the last few months. And I actually did a video about this on YouTube, Not on YouTube. I did a video on this on TikTok. God, okay, you want to know why that I have these like brain whatever? One of the reasons is because it is hard to talk to a camera for 30 minutes, of course. But also, like, I don't drink enough water, period. I usually record these at like 2. I usually start drinking water at like 2 in the day, like after my 2 coffees, which is so bad. Please don't do that. This reminds me, this year I do want to focus on, I know we're reflecting, but I want to focus on getting more water and eating more veggies. Okay. That's my resolution for year 26. But that's also why I struggle with finding words sometimes in my brain, is because I need to drink water before these episodes so that I can actually have a brain that works. But back to what I was saying, there's a whole verse about the first will be last and the last will be first. And basically it's talking about those who exalt themselves and put themselves first will be humbled, and the humble often are overlooked or last. And those are who will be lifted up. Like the humbled will be honored, the Bible talks about. And so I feel like we live our life like trying to achieve these things, or we get filled with like pride of trying to be like important or whatever. And I think one of the most important things we can do is humble ourselves and put ourselves last. And this is like this is a beautiful kingdom mentality of like, we don't have to put ourselves first, and we actually can humble ourselves and put ourselves last and trust that the Lord is going to honor that, and that he will give us what we need. Like we have everything that we need in him. And that's another thing that I feel like I have just learned is like being humble and focusing on humility is one of the most beautiful things that you can do. And in turn, you end up getting everything that you need. Like you don't have to push to the front. Like we are the head and not the tail. That's another scripture. And God cares for us, and we don't have to worry about being in want for anything. Like we have everything that we need. And lastly, I feel like I've learned that God is everywhere and in everything if we will just stop being so distracted. And when I really listen for him, and when I'm praying and I really want to honor him, and I want to, he knows my heart, and I can ask him to like, he says that when we seek him, we will find him. And I feel like I have just learned that so much. Like anytime I've been like, where are you, God? Or that always, but like there have been times where I've been like, where are you, God? And I've just been so distracted that I haven't even been able to hear him, because I always have a podcast playing. I always have something distracting me. I always have music in the background. Like just sit in silence and just talk with him. And he wants to talk with you, and he is everywhere. And I feel like that's like a beautiful thing that I've learned over this past year. And my goals for this year are, I feel like I'm finally stepping into spending time, especially in my work life, doing things that I'm passionate about. This podcast being one of them, hosting being one of them, some things that I haven't announced being some of them. And I just feel so passionate, and I feel like I want to do things I'm passionate about this year. And I'm so lucky to have a job that I love so much and I am passionate about. And I just want to care more about what God thinks than anything else. And I want to spend more time drinking water and taking care of myself, and yeah, just doing things that make me feel good. And I also am going to get on a vitamin regimen. I've been so bad about taking my vitamins. Y'all know I'm low on vitamin D and iron. And that might be another reason why I'm not being able to find words. It's because I don't take my vitamins. Like, girl, you know you're iron deficient. Why are you not taking your vitamins? So I needed to be doing that too. And I don't know. I really am so blessed. Spending time reflecting on this year, the amount of things that I was able to write down that I was just so grateful for, and just my friendships, and I'm just so taken care of by the Lord. And yeah, I just feel grateful, and I definitely have things that I'm praying about that I want, but I also am just so content, and I feel like I'm in a really good place with that. And I'm just happy. I really am. And turning 26, I feel like it's just like crazy. One, that I'm this, not old, because I don't feel old. And I hate when people are like, I'm 30, I'm old. I'm like, no, honey, life is just starting. And so I don't think 26 is old, but it's just a time to reflect and just, I don't know. I just want to honor this past year and look forward to this next year. So a lot of fun things are coming, which I'm excited about. And I just feel happy and content and grateful. Let's get into a few Mackenzies Mindsets. Mackenzies Mindset is a segment that I do at the end of every episode where I talk about topics and just give you guys advice and my mindset on your questions and topics. So let's get into today's. Alrighty. First one, Mackenzies Mindset. What is your take on prenups in marriage? My fiance refuses to marry me unless we sign a prenup. I want to tread lightly. So I'll speak for me, and then I will speak from the perspective of other people that I feel like disagree with my take. So my take for me and my husband was, if I really am committing to you for the rest of my life, why am I deciding something? I'm almost like preparing for a divorce. And I'm like, just in case we get a divorce, which I know anything can happen. So don't get me wrong. And for me, I was just like, I don't feel comfortable signing something that is almost preparing for us to get a divorce. He felt the same way. We were on the same page. Neither one of us wanted that. So this was a discussion between us. Now, I have friends that have gotten divorced. I have friends that have also had prenups. I've had friends that I feel like I have friends that are team prenup and haven't gotten divorced. I have friends that have gotten divorced and didn't have a prenup, and they've like ended pretty cordially. So I don't think they would have needed one, and they also I think prenups are most important when you have like a lot of money. So if you don't have a ton of money, I don't think it's that crazy to not have one. But I also have friends that have prenups, and I honestly can see the perspective of like, we're not going to get a divorce, but absolutely anything can happen. If we are going to be together for 80 years, like things can change. Or like, what if someone just wakes up one day and is like, decides I'm leaving you and I'm taking everything? Like, there are stories of that. So I'm also just like, what is the worst thing that could happen? I guess like, you have it and don't use it. I kind of understand that perspective too. I still stand by what we did and I wouldn't change that, but I do understand that perspective. So I don't know if that's necessarily helpful. That is my mindset on the question. Is I personally would not want one, because I'm like, why would I want something where I'm like almost pre-deciding that we're going to get a divorce? I also understand the perspective of what's the worst thing with having one. So I don't know if that, it gives you my mindset. I don't know if that answers your question though. Someone said, I love how you represent yourself as a child of God, a mother, a wife, and all of the other awesome things God is doing in your life. That's very sweet, Illy. Anyways, I'd love to get your take on baptism as an infant versus dedication versus waiting until the child is old enough to choose baptism. We have a 2-year-old son. We get a lot of criticism from my family for not baptizing him as an infant. And now we're trying for a second baby in conversation about baptism. Thank you for considering. Can't wait to hear you on the next one. Thank you. I almost said your name, good thing I didn't out you. I always keep these private. Could have edited it out, so don't worry. Either way, I wouldn't out you. But so my take is, I do believe biblically that baptism is a choice and that it represents you dying to the flesh and coming alive in the spirit. And I don't know. I feel like that is a choice as an adult now. Kind of goes back to the prenup thing where it's like, I think a lot of people do see that as like a dedication. Like, this is our family, like dedicating their life to the Lord. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And like, what's the harm in that? Now, biblically, I do believe that is a choice that they have to make for themselves. So it's like they would have to do it twice. We did not do that for our children because I want that to be a choice of theirs. And ultimately, if your family has that much of an opinion on it, to be honest, it's not their kids and it is your family at this point. Like, you have broken off from your family and started your own family, and they can have their opinions on it, but like, it shouldn't have too much of a decision making. It shouldn't have too much to say. God, help me, God. Help me find the words, God. Like, truly, what's wrong with my brain? I'm also hungry. Forgot to add that, but it shouldn't have too much of an effect on your decision making is what I meant to say. So I think that like, you can't operate out of like fear of man and fear of disappointing your family, because at the end of the day, it's your family. So you have to do what's best for your family. And so that's my take. Now, is it the worst thing in the world to like basically dedicate your son? No, I don't think it is. But at the same time, biblically, that is a choice that they have to make on their own later on in life. So like, what's the point, I guess? And if I am like uneducated on the getting baptized as an infant. So if I said something wrong, I'm sorry, I need to do my like research on it. But as for the information that I have now, that's my mindset on the topic. Okay, well, that wraps up this week's episode. Next week, we will be in Oregon. So we will not have an episode next week, but I will be back the following week. Don't want to scare you guys with me telling you guys that I was thinking about going every other week. I heard you guys, we're going to just keep doing it every single week. So don't worry about that. It's just, we're taking next week off for a little vacation. And then I will see you guys the following week after that. God, I'm going to eat and drink water. I love you guys. Thank you guys for listening. Seriously, it means the world to me. It really, really does. Every time you guys tune in, comment, or like anything, it really does mean a lot to me. You guys can follow along on Not Everybody Needs a Podcast page on TikTok and Instagram. And then you guys can also subscribe on YouTube and follow along on Spotify and Apple if you guys listen or watch on there. Love you guys. And I will see you guys not next week, but the week after that with another episode of Not Everybody Needs a Podcast. Bye-bye.